Hello, I'm Chris Bishop and welcome to the Small Business Show. I'm at a small shopping centre just outside Pretoria, and we're here for the story of a young entrepreneur who's made it in the travel business. Her name is Sebogodi. Now, her story was touched in its early days by tragedy.
Hi, this is Sebogodi, the owner and founder of Batsumi Travel. Batsumi Travel is based in Pretoria, Ferry Glen, and what we do is provide a full spectrum of travel products and services to leisure and corporate market.
Thanks for joining us on this program, Sebogodi. And your parents, you've both been entrepreneurs in their time when you were growing up. Did this give you some sort of grounding in being an entrepreneur yourself?
I must say, not at the time when my dad was still alive. It only hit home after my dad got shot in 1997. I then changed plans with regards to my medical studies, and because my mom was all by herself, my dad left us no money. He was in the taxi business. I then decided to rather go the travel route. So I studied travel and tourism through Damelin. And I really fell in love, with the industry. I did so well, got my merit awards at school, and again, it didn't take long for me to get employed. My first job was at Rennies Travel, mainland at the time, in the year 2000.
And this terrible tragedy you mentioned with your father in the taxi business, how much of it was pressure to become the next breadwinner of your family? How much did that drive you on as an entrepreneur?
I was very driven. My parents, they say charity begins at home, and often my dad would remind me, how important it is, to study, go to school, education, key to success, and so forth. And after his death, those were the words that constantly came through my mind. And my mom was there for us. I mean, I've never really had problems, even with my brother and my sister. We were really very well looked after. And had I been another child, I would have just taken advantage of my single mom parent and thought, because I got the car by then, before I even went to get my own work at Rennies. She bought me a brand new car, flat and everything else, but I said, I was really humbled, and I didn't forget where.
And you started at the very bottom. You wanted to learn the travel trade here in Pretoria, where you grew up.
Correct. Yes.
And your first job, it was quite difficult, wasn't it?
It was very difficult. Rennies Mainland is a very big branch, very intimidating, and I worked with highly skilled people there. They taught me the ropes. And I remember one day when I spoke to a receptionist lady there to say, please, just make sure that some of the calls that comes through, put them through to me, because I felt that I'm sitting there with my knowledge and I'm going to forget what I've learned from school. Even though my branch manager, Les Kingwan, back then, she did believe in me, and I was given the opportunity. And the very same month, I was, the hero consultant, with top sales for the month, and it shows, through passion, you can do anything.
And how tough is this travel business?
It's tough. It's cutthroat industry, travel. You have to know what you're doing. For instance, a traveler calls in. I'm traveling Joburg to Durban. Attention to detail is key. It's very easy to book the traveler the other way around, and Durban Joburg, and the consequences thereof, because now changing the ticket, meaning that there's more fees that needs to be collected and so forth, and your company end up incurring all the costs. So it's really, really key to make sure that you listen attentively, listening more, and then only prescribing afterwards.
And in this travel business, how angry can the customers be sometimes?
Very angry, and it's difficult for us because a lot of times it's not us, the travel management companies, that are at fault, but it's our suppliers who let us down. For instance, the airlines, it could be that the car hasn't been delivered at the offices at the time that it was requested, or the delay in the flight. But the client isn't interested. We need to make it happen, and that's where the value add comes in.
And fast forward to 2010, you've done your apprenticeship in the travel business, and you started your own business.
That's right.
That first day, tell me about it. You were sitting there with a computer and nothing. How did you feel?
You know, coming from the previous companies that I worked for, I was at Rennies for 7 years, Protea Hotels 4 years. I then started Batsumi 2010, and for me it wasn't difficult, you know, to get the client base in because I was just wearing a different hat. So my first trading client by that time phoned me, and they started trading with me in August. And I must say it was really difficult because I had to do it all with my business partner. We had to be a consultant, we had to run you know, accounts, you know, do the invoices and everything else. It was not easy at all. And the first year we did not employ anyone, but we had to do it ourselves. And
how much did you earn in the first year?
No salary at all. And that's one thing that we had said, both of us, that, you know, we're gonna make this work. Every little cent that comes through, we will be putting it for the growth of the company. So we did not pay ourselves salary. In fact, both of us contributed monies into the business.
At that time, when things were tough, and there must have been a rough day that you can remember. I mean, you could have been back as a national sales manager for a company, earning a nice salary,
Great.
Medical aid, no
Yes.
problem. What were you thinking? When was your worst day?
I did have my days where I thought, you know, was this really worth it? I wanted to go back, but, you know, I never gave up because I believe in myself. And, you know, I applied myself throughout the whole process, you know, with my partner. You know, we were, it was encouraging to see the small successes that we were making. You know, a lot of people believed in us. They believed in the brand, that, you know, we will do well. And, you know, we never ever doubted ourselves, and we gave it every bit, you know, until to a point where from 2010 to date, the company is now employing 12 full-time staff members and 2 part-time. So we really pride ourselves with where we've been.
And how tough is the travel business at the moment, in the fact that a lot of people who do travel, I know you do corporate and government, and you do personal leisure travel.
Correct.
A lot of people don't have money these days.
Yeah, it's a cutthroat industry, as I've mentioned. For corporates, which is mainly our core business, we've seen, you know, that the business is picking up nicely, although they're cutting a lot, you know, in terms of, you know, the budgets. So you would often see that they're traveling, you know, the most cost-effective options, you know, are being requested. They're cutting on the luxuries like business class, you know, 5-star hotels. When we go to the government departments, there's cost containment of 1-3, which is dinner, bed, breakfast inclusive. And also with leisure, which is very difficult because the leisure clients, they inquire and they shop around. So they'll come through to us, and then they'll go through other travel agents before they even come to book. So you find that, you know, we're generating a lot of quotes that aren't materializing. So it's all about, you know, building relationships and value-added services that, you know, we
And what
provide.
about this online bookings that people are doing these days? I mean, is that affecting you one way or the other?
Internet, yes, it is a threat to us. However, you know, we also offer online booking tool to our corporates as one of the value-added services. You go through to a corporate, you find that they do not want to deal with a travel agent. And then we sell the online booking tool because they're able to see the whole inventory all in one. They do not have to visit multiple websites and look at Kulula and the Mango and so forth. So that, again, it's selling quite well because they do have, you know, peace of mind that they know that, you know, Batsumi consultants will perform quality checks. They then have to do the bookings themselves, and then human intervention comes in when we do quality checking, or if the changes are being requested, then we will assist in terms of that.
You also do government business.
Yes.
I mean, one of the great headlines in the newspapers every day, people saying, oh, people are making millions out of government tenders. What's the reality in your business?
Sure. Tenders. Well, I must say, for the past 5 years that, you know, we've been in existence, Batsumi has made, you know, one of the breakthroughs last year, October, when we got awarded, you know, a government department or Office of Premier account. You know, throughout the years, we've built our business, you know, from cold calling, doing presentations and so forth. So we've been able to build on that solid foundation without tender. And it's one thing that I've said to my team that, you know, even though we're going to be tendering, but we shouldn't be basing our business on the tender, because it comes and goes. You know, it's only valid for a year, 2 or 3 years maybe. And the challenges thereof, it's time consuming as well. You know, a lot of resources there are being wasted. They require so many copies, you hand them in, you don't hear from them, and then 6 months down the line it's been cancelled, it's been re-advertised, and then you go back again to the drawing board. You know, so I say, you know, in my business, what I do with the team, we don't tender for each and every business. You know, we're very selective to say, okay, this one we'll give it a shot, and we keep on, you know, doing our cold calling. We call it top 30 a week. Call our 6 lines every day, and make sure that we go out and look for business other than the tenders. If it comes, great, because, you know, it's a cream on top.
A lot of young people out there watching this will be looking at you maybe and thinking, maybe I could do the same. What would you say to them?
I would say go for it. You know, I really love my space right now. I'm very passionate with travel, and if I can do it, I think so can you. I've come a long way. It hasn't been easy. It's not a job, you know, they call it for ceases. I do not sleep. But one thing that I've learned, and I'm really grateful for being on the Race Corp program for the past 3 years, the one lesson that I've taken then from the program is to work on the business, not in the business. So hence, to date, I've got a team of 12 people, and I'm able to delegate. I trust my team. And at the same time, you know, having a discipline of action. They say write it down and make it a healthy reality. So that's how I live my day, every day, you know, making it a healthy reality and having a discipline of action, and not just talk, but, you know, make it happen.
Lisa Sebogodi, entrepreneur in the travel business, thank you very much for sharing your time and insights with us. I'm afraid that's all we've got time for in this edition of the Small Business Show. From me, Chris Bishop in Pretoria, is goodbye.